Muses of Mythology is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Riordanverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes. It was funny, I was doing these notes when we were at Kelsey's for a game night, and they were playing Wingspan, and I don't want to play Wingspan, so they played Wingspan, and they let me research, and it was really nice. But at one point in time, I put this note here, and Kelsey's like, oh, what symbol is that? And I
It's
just
like
had to be
6.
that's a number 2.
Oh yeah, that's a number 2.
But like she was looking at it from like a 90-degree angle, and obviously I'm like going through Egyptian stuff, so totally reason for her to think I was marking a specific symbol. Nah, that's just a
This
number
is number
2.
2 because I'm going in order and stuff like that.
Welcome to Muses of Mythology, a podcast where we explore how ancient myths become part of modern pop culture through the lens of Riordan's The Kane Chronicles. This is Story 109, Osiris. I'm your co-host and podcasting muse, Darien and Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? I'm DJ the Muse, and I've been playing a lot of Abyssus recently. It's just a fun little first-person roguelike shooter.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
You're so into it that when I knocked on your door and came in your room to talk to you earlier, I walked all the way up behind you and you did not perceive me whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I just left. I was like, he's really into this right now. I'm going to take the dog and we're going to go on a walk.
Yeah. It's been fun. I'm almost done with it pretty much.
Nice. Well, let's muse around this in the garden for a moment.
Woo.
Okay, DJ, it's no surprise we're doing Osiris today.
That it is.
DJ, what is the deal with... Let's just get into it. I don't have any vamping. What's the deal with Osiris in the Kane Chronicles?
He's the god of dead.
Mm-hmm.
Technically the pharaoh of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Not simply just the god. He possesses their father's body, or his father possesses Osiris's body.
Yeah.
Unclear.
Yeah, because it's like...
Uncertain.
Because Julius Cain dies.
Yeah?
At the end of the Red Pyramid, when there is the coffin that he is inside and chained up into, Sadie has the chance to save him.
Uh-huh.
She chooses not to, because one, he kind of needs to die so Osiris can go back to the underworld and rule the underworld
But
again.
why? Because we know gods can just leave their bodies.
Yeah.
Because Horus and Isis and Nephthys all do that.
Yeah. What a great question. So self-sacrifice? She's got to go help Carter. So she picks Carter. And I don't know. I mean, Carter knows because he hears the story, but I don't know if she told him before they started recording like that.
Yeah.
So Julius Cain dies.
Okay.
But then in the underworld, it is Julius Cain who is acting as the eye of Osiris, much like when, Sadie or Carter or Walt or
Z.
Or Zia. Thank you. Gosh, I was trying to get to Zia and I couldn't remember her name. Or Zia, when they're totally in sync. I think Walt and Anubis specifically are the best parallel because it's constantly the two of them. It's what it's been established. It is constantly the two of them in sync, not just kind of the in and out moment where Sadie and Carter just try to put Horus and Osiris and Isis in the backseat, only letting them out every now and then. It is them. But we also it feels like it must be that because we never ever talk to Osiris, but also Rosie Cain is there and Isis never is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of pushes the point where they should have just done that. Mm-hmm. Isis and
just
Horus are now siblings now.
Yeah, we should have just done a complete recontextualization of these figures.
They set it out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't commit to that. But yeah, it's that's the thing is I realize right now no, we never see Isis.
I think Isis still calls Osiris her husband too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horus her son.
Yeah, because there is this baseline of oh no, but this is how they are always. And it's oh no, they live different stories through humans, but it's
it should be how they were born if they aren't in humans. That's their relationship. But then when they are in humans, they have the relationship of the humans.
And I guess that is.
But that's not.
Right.
Because they say that the
how can there be so
Isis
many
and Osiris and the like Horus, that situation
Mhm.
is from a human life. They say that.
Yeah. It's weird because when we go back to like the Hall in the Age of Myth, we see that happening in the Dua, in the purest, like where they're all divine and Osiris. But like it is because they're not all embodying humans because Anubis is there and he has never like embodied a mortal.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
And again, I get why Rick Riordan made that call to like, well, he didn't want to kind of wave away the different versions of the stories as he had with the Greek narrative, where it's just like, oh, there were lots of stories, but there's the ones that really truly happened. With that one, he's like, no, there are different stories, and there are different stories that coexist because of this thing. Like, again, I do think
because
that's
of
a
this
really
relationship they have with the humans. But you got to run that. You got to run that.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they are actually locked in now.
Yeah, but they have this like this. They're when they're in a human, they're like this. But even then, like when Isis and Horus are with Sadie and Carter, their dynamic with each other doesn't change.
Yeah,
like it's always Sadie and Carter.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they're brother and sister. They're humans. And just, meh.
It's fine. It just could have been cooler.
Could have been better.
All right, so yeah, that's it. Like that's the big thing.
Like obviously, I know the whole Osiris story of him being dismembered and sent around all of Egypt and stuff like that.
One.
But
that's the big one we're going to really unpack for this episode because that's like huge. I've got so this episode, man, this is a lot, but it's Osiris, so it's gonna be a lot. So let's kick it off. First thing I learned that I want to present is like the nature of Osiris. So in early Old Kingdom, we have prayers and offerings in the tombs from members of the royal court. They're all addressed to Anubis. But by the 5th dynasty, Osiris has become the first name in funerals.
Yeah.
Essentially eclipsing Anubis, who never loses complete importance, but within a very brief span of time, Osiris is now
people
the
are like,
one
yeah,
that
Osiris, we like
prioritize. Quite literally, there's a funerary text that we have, has a standard opening, which goes, an offering which the king gives to Osiris on behalf of the deceased. And then it continues on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it literally opens and every funerary text is like, we refer to Osiris first. I've gotten into the habit of just doing iconography first.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to stick with that because I think it's interesting and gives you something to picture. So Osiris is... DJ, what does Osiris look like?
Blue skin.
Blue skin, yep.
Sometimes mummy wrappings, but sometimes not.
Most frequently mummy wrappings. Yep.
The mummy wrappings are in fact holding him together.
Kind of. Well, he's the first mummy, and we'll get that. But like you'll know when you see him whether it's like because you can't really. It's not like they do like the individual lines usually, but you'll be able to tell because his limbs will be together. Like they're always seeing characters from the side, right?
Yeah.
But I think the thing I noticed was that his feet. Everyone else will always have 2 feet, but he only has like 1 foot because his feet are bound together because he's a mummy.
Yeah.
So that's the mummy wrappings. His skin might be white to represent the mummy wrappings, or black to represent the fertile soil of the Nile, or iconically that green, which is vegetation and fertility. I think we really see it more as like a green-blue.
Yeah, greenish blue.
And I don't know if
bluish green maybe.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the result of like oxidation of the temple art over the millennia since, or whether just green, blue, greenish blue, that line. The way Osiris is depicted, like his stance or regalia is probably going to vary across Egypt as he'll be associated with whatever symbols is most important to the regions. But he will most commonly be wearing the Atef crown, which is the Hadjet, which is that white crown of Upper Egypt, with a curly ostrich feather on either side of it for the cult of Osiris. This is nice. Osiris is the only one that we see, probably not the only one ever of all time. I bet there are exceptions, but generally speaking, this is Osiris's crown.
Yeah.
It represents him. It is for him specifically. And the ostrich feathers are the same feathers as that of Mott.
Ooh. Fun.
So his crown literally has the symbol of order and truth on it, representing his power.
Sick.
Yeah. He typically carries the crook and flail, which are the symbols of a pharaoh. Hey, DJ, do you know why the crook and flail are symbols of the pharaoh?
Crook maybe for like harvesting of sorts.
Okay.
Flail for keeping slaves in line.
Yikes. I mean, yikes. But like, I'm going to give you that. Because actually, no one knows.
No one knows.
It's so old. It is so old in the history of Egypt. Like, these tools were paired as symbols of royal power as early as the 2nd dynasty.
Wow.
Egyptologists think maybe the crook, because it's a shepherd's crook.
Yeah.
So maybe represents the pharaoh as almost like a shepherd figure of their protecting and guiding their people. The flail might be a weapon of coercion, as you said, or it could be like a tool for threshing grain, representing like collecting the sustenance that people need to survive. But it's very likely that, since these symbols came upon so early, the ancient people themselves probably didn't know where but eventually in time...
our pharaohs just have that. I don't know.
In the 2nd dynasty, by the 32nd dynasty, I don't think, by 5,000 years later, I don't think anybody probably could clearly say, like, yeah, this is where it comes from. This is why.
I wouldn't doubt if it was like written down somewhere and it kind of only passed along through pharaohs of ruling parties.
I don't know, because it's just because there's so many times Egypt fell apart, essentially, right? There were so many times when the pharaohs lost power, when the priests gained control, and then a new dynasty comes in.
But if it's always been the crook and flail every single time that like it comes back around.
But is that just because that is the symbol of power, and in order to present yourself as having rightful power, you're going to hold the symbols of the pharaoh?
Maybe it could represent the upper and lower Egypt.
Maybe. I like that.
Different
unifying, like one was one was the other.
Yeah.
Perhaps like the crown. Yeah, we don't know. I saw a thing in passing that was like, potentially maybe Osiris originated from a real pharaoh who was a shepherd himself originally, and that's where the crook and flail.
This is the roots of this kingdom.
Yeah, and maybe it was one of the earliest pharaohs was a shepherd and had a crook, and that's why the symbol. But it's like, again, we don't know.
Who knows?
And I find that utterly fascinating.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, it is. It would be cool to know, but it also kind of just represents like sometimes things are there
old.
because they've been there.
Yeah, things are fucking old, bro.
And we don't doing things just because it is all how it's always been. Isn't a great thing to do, but sometimes it is fascinating to be like the symbol itself has gained more power than the story it came from.
Yeah.
So, if you are looking at a hieroglyph, and again, Osiris isn't always blue skinned, but if it's a mummy in a crown with a crook and flail, it's almost always going to be Osiris. Yeah. That's a pretty safe bet. I want to talk, let's do the Osiris myth. Like this is it. Like it would be, I would say, unwise for us not to spend time properly unpacking the Osiris myth in the Osiris episode.
Yeah, because it's like almost exclusively, it's not exclusively about him, but it's almost exclusively about it.
Like,
like he's the center of this myth.
Over these last couple episodes, I've been like carefully parsing out, identifying, like this is Nephthys in the myth, and here's Isis in the myth, right? And I think let's dissect Osiris. And the reason I'm like parsing it out this way is because like as said in the Kane Chronicles, and this is not Rick Riordan just making this statement, this is largely understood to be fact, the Osiris myth is a core belief of ancient Egyptian society.
Yeah.
Like this story, this narrative, what the events of it are important and were deeply, deeply important. But the way we know and understand this myth, we have never discovered an entire, like, comprehensive start to finish
of this
narrative of the myth from an ancient Egyptian source.
Huh.
It existed in pieces all across the kingdom, right? It would appear in a wide variety of texts, from funerary texts, like the pyramid texts, which we've talked about, coffin texts, the Book of the Dead has passages that reference and are about the Osiris myth in it, and magical spells and short stories. They all feature, not they all, but these are pieces where you will find different events of the Osiris myth.
Yeah.
But there was not like a scroll we found that has the whole thing, or on a temple carving it has the whole thing. It has a part of it, but
it's like oh, this is the place where they found his like left arm, and then another part has like, oh, this is when they found his left leg.
Yeah, and then it'll mention like what happened and how we became dismembered like that, and what Isis did, and then we'll get a spell that talks about like that story of like Isis healing Horus from the scorpion while she's protected that was sent by Set. Like this is where we're getting the stories, and while we know it most extensively than any other Egyptian myth, like any other myth we'll reference, we'll probably only have like a little bit to talk about because. Yeah. There's not a lot. It's like maybe mentioned in one spell, one text, one thing. But it's because we have so many sources, and the sources kind of vary widely in their version of events. The most comprehensive version of this myth comes from Plutarch's De Isid et Osirised, which is on Iris and Osiris. I probably super butchered the way you'd actually pronounce it in ancient Greek, but we're going to move past it. DJ, who is Plutarch?
I don't know.
That's okay.
We've talked about him, I'm sure.
But... do you want to take a guess?
Some Greek fella.
He was definitely some Greek fella.
I don't know, a similar guy to like Plato and Homer.
He was a Greek historian and philosopher.
Yeah.
Now, he was born 40 AD, which is 70 years after Cleopatra VII's death.
Yes.
Meaning that while his rendition of the story does like provide a lot of information, like interconnecting these pieces together, it may not accurately reflect the beliefs of ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Because he was born 70 years after the Greeks stopped ruling Egypt as a kingdom, let alone after Egypt was its fully own autonomous nation.
Yeah.
Right? So all that said, here's the Osiris myth. Osiris is the first son of Nut and Geb, the children of Ra, the creator and the first pharaoh. We don't really know what the world looked like when Osiris was pharaoh.
Yeah.
But it was probably pretty chill.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was probably a good king.
And because Set is a figure who represents disorder and chaos, one day he just went, nah, fuck that. We kind of talked about the Nephthys episode, how sometimes you'll get sources that give a reason for why Set felt like was justified in killing Osiris. The pyramid text, this really, really early source from the 5th dynasty, does mention like Set wants revenge for Osiris kicking him. Which just doesn't feel like.
So I'm going to overthrow you.
Yeah, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah, I'm going to dismember you, overthrow you, and take your throne and send the world into disarray because you kicked me in that stomach the one time.
Yeah. And it just like, hey, that's like not a cool thing to do, but like.
In fact, I'm starting with the leg you kicked me with.
Exactly, and he would. By the late period, which is after the New Kingdom, but before the Ptolemaic era.
This little piggy hit my kidney. This little pygmy struck my appendix.
God damn it.
This little, as he's like ripping them off every time.
That's so, I mean, yeah, but oh my gosh, but yeah. So the late period after New Kingdom, before the Ptolemaic era, this is where we get that story of Set is getting revenge because Osiris and Nephthys hook up, and also maybe Nephthys was disguised as Isis. And I don't like that, and that came super late in the game.
Yeah.
So Geraldine Pinch, who is an Egyptologist, states in her work Egyptian Mythology: A Guide to the Gods, Goddesses, and Traditions of Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians believed in the power of the written world and its ability to shape reality. So while we know, yes, Set kills Osiris, it's never actually described. Like what he does, what weapons he used, what the events around that was, what happened in the moment. Like we don't have that. In fact,
you just know he kills him and dismembers him.
Yeah. Some records even deny Osiris died at all, like when describing it. Because the idea that you could shape the world, the risk was potentially, if we say Osiris died, what if he dies now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What if we accidentally bring into the world where he is now dead, rather than Isis saved him? Right?
Yeah.
Right? So some of these texts will even say like, oh, he didn't die, Set felt, even though his death is like pretty fundamental to the rest of the events of the story.
Yeah.
But this was just like how a note on like some
people's feelings on
of like things you'll find when you're researching this. It's like, but that's just because of the deep belief of the written word, of illustration, of capturing things in the moment, how they could shape it. Some texts actually suggest that Set takes the form of a wild animal, such as a crocodile or a bull, to slay Osiris. Others imply that Osiris's corpse was thrown in the river, or he was maybe drowned. It's actually not until the end of the New Kingdom that we see that tradition of Set cutting Osiris into pieces and scattering him throughout Egypt. Which is interesting, because Isis and Nephthys have been associated with the kite for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked in the Isis episode, the kite is a bird that collects carrion, picks up those pieces. That idea of like, oh, and it's like Osiris may came later with this, but they do also relate to the like cries of mourning.
Yeah.
So that may be a more fundamental reason why Isis became associated with this kind of bird. And the fact that it was a carrion bird came later. Or it didn't come later, but became like, oh, what a handy coincidence.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about this story now. Most common versions of the story state that Osiris was cut into 42 pieces. Do you want to take a guess into why that number matters?
They gleaned that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was going to say that the meaning of life was 42.
You got me! You got me, DJ! You took my joke! Yes, as we all know, 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. It was also the number of gnomes of Egypt. So, DJ, you mentioned earlier about like, this is where his leg was cut off, and this is where that was a thing.
It was it. It's like, this gnome is actually where we found this part of Osiris.
Yeah, like so many locations throughout Egypt also claim that this was where Isis found certain body parts. Which is like kind of crazy, but also I do want to remind folks that like Christians, specifically Catholics, would like showcase body parts of saints as relics.
Oh yeah.
So like humans have been doing this for ages.
This is a thing.
Jam.
This just people like it. It's fun.
A couple that I found was interesting.
We got mummies in museums, baby. Like it's fine.
Athribus is a location that claimed that this was his heart was found here, whereas the gnomes of Biga, Edfu, Heracropolis, and Sebentos all claim to be where a leg was found. DJ, you may note why that doesn't. Maybe they couldn't all be where a leg was found.
Well, maybe a part of the leg.
Or just part of the leg.
Yeah, like the thigh, the calf, the foot.
Well, then it's the foot, not the leg.
Well,
I think
then we're chopping it into 3 bits, right?
I think anything, if you don't have the knee, all the way down to mid-shin, it stops being leg and starts being just foot.
No. I think this part right here, that's
ankle.
leg.
You're right. If it's got mid, at least half of the shin has to be there for be like, oh my gosh, I found a leg.
I think if you attach the foot to that bottom half, then it's more foot than leg.
Okay.
But there's still leg there.
But if it's all the way down to the ankle, I don't think you found the leg. I think you just found the foot.
Yeah. If it's just the ankle down,
ankle, then it's just the foot.
But if it's like ankle up, that's all leg.
Okay. So moving on. With Osiris out of the way, Set is able to rule as pharaoh, and it's basically what it was probably like. The vibe is, we don't have records of what Osiris's rule was like, but we know Set's was like not great. It's kind of like during the intermediate periods of Egypt where there was like no order.
There's issues going on.
The kingdom was apart. Nothing was like, there was no like oversight or strong like.
Set's being very selfish.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Scar took over and like it immediately ruined the ecosystem and the environment of the Pride Lands. Like it's Hamlet. Things go bad here. So, as we talked about, Isis and Nephthys work together and they find and restore Osiris's body, sometimes with the help of Thoth through magic, sometimes with the help of Anubis through embalming.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, Osiris becomes the first mummy. Horus is conceived, and we don't have to relitigate that. And all subsequent mentions of Osiris reference him as the ruler and judge of the Duat, realm of the dead. Like, once Isis puts them back together, and Horus is born, Osiris never appears in the living world again.
Mm-hmm.
We never get any mention of because
he had to step back and let his son rule because that's Mott.
Because while Isis was able to put him back together, he does not rejoin the world of the living, but nor was he ruler of the underworld before she succeeded in doing that.
Yeah.
By the New Kingdom, Osiris's death and renewal kind of became associated with the flooding of the Nile. So the waters of the Nile were kind of equated with either Isis's tears of mourning or Osiris's body fluids. Do with that what you will.
Nice.
All right. So at this point in time,
he was a very leaky mummy.
He was a very leaky mummy. No.
He was actually
can't still be
mummified
juicy.
in the swamp.
No.
His whole body was just pulled up.
No.
He's a very juicy mummy.
No. No. At this point, once Osiris is mummified and becomes judge of the dead, the story becomes about Set and Horus. So we're gonna leave that myth. We'll come back to it later.
Do you think Osiris got the scarabs on him as he was put in the sarcophagus?
No. He didn't get the foot bugs?
The shoe bugs.
The shoe bugs. No, I don't think Isis and Tot and Anubis put the shoe bugs in Osiris.
Into his coffin, into his little sarcophagi.
No, I don't think so. I think he was a very good mummy. I think he was probably
very respectful mummification. I will still say it is very crazy that the curse they put on him was to live forever and have the power of the sands, just to be being like eaten by like scarabs the whole time.
Yeah, right.
But like you're living forever and get like the power of the sands.
And should anybody ever resurrect you, you'll have the power of the gods.
It's insane, dude. It's nuts.
It's crazy. It's like, here's the thing.
That's a crazy curse.
I just rewatched the first season of Wednesday. And we find out that Wednesday's ancestor, Goody Adams, like killed the evil pilgrim, Joseph Crackstone, and like trapped his soul so he could never be resurrected, which is like, okay, I think he could just be dead. And then when when he is brought back to life, he's got like these crazy demon powers that he doesn't seem surprised about.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's pretty crazy.
It very reads as the Mummy. It's like, Goody, why did you just kill him?
Goody, what's going on here?
Why was there a spell to resurrect him and give him demon powers?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And he's just using them left and right. It kind of suggests that he's not surprised and had these before, but I don't know. Season one's a mess. I like it well enough, but
I like it enough to watch season 2.
And season 2
to have been excited for season 2, you know?
Season 2 was way better. So, hey, DJ, so I just gave you that rundown. Anything from that narrative that I just gave you that maybe is a big difference than what we saw in the Kane Chronicles version of the story? We mentioned...
I vaguely remember the Kane Chronicles version of the story,
when we talk about what we see in the Hall of Ages and the myth.
The birthday?
Yes, the birthday.
The coffin.
Yeah.
The sarcophagus he got. It's like, haha, it only fits the true king.
The person,
but it actually just only fits Osiris to trap him.
Yeah. Would you believe that Rick Riordan went ahead and decided, hey, I'm going to use this, I'm going to take my source from a person who was not part of this culture,
fanfic, bro,
and was not part of this even century where these stories were being told.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds. He does that. We found that maybe this is a trend for old Richard. There, we can thank Plutarch for our golden chest story.
It's a fun. I prefer that over the Freya stuff. True. Like, I don't think it's like the worst thing. It's like,
it's not the worst thing. I'm gonna tell you this though.
I don't know the original story, but like the story that was told in the thing, I'm like, oh yeah.
Right. So what I just told you is kind of the version of events we have through the sources we find through Egyptian history.
Yes.
And then Plutarch's the one that has this golden chest. His account starts with Set, whom Plutarch, like other Greeks, called Typhon.
Oh, Typhon.
Mm-hmm. Arriving at a party with a big golden chest, and he promises to give it to whoever it'll fit perfectly. A lot of gods try, they fail. Osiris does, because it was made from him, and Osiris slams the chest shut and throws it in the river. So Osiris drowns. Isis and Horus, who at this point in time has actually already been born, right? Plutarch takes away... We've already got to relitigate it. You got it.
Plutarch's like, I don't like this part.
Yeah. Let me, actually, I'm going to redact that statement I just made. I'm just going to say Horus is already alive. And so they search for the chest and find it in a tree that was cut down and turned into a pillar at a palace. And this detail might be Plutarch explaining why there was actually a cult to Isis and Osiris in Bilbalos, which is probably not how you pronounce it, but let's move on. Right before Isis can resurrect Osiris, Set shows up, steals the body. This is when he cuts him into all the pieces. Spreads them all around. Isis collects all of the pieces except for one.
His penis.
Yes, because it was eaten by a fish.
It looked like a worm. I don't know
Very-
which one. From
and
the
this one
fish.
It's very much a Poltark Greek edition. This fish having a penis snack thing has not
Just
been,
not a thing.
not been found in any of our Egyptian sources. As
No,
far
but
as
they
I
couldn't
could
find this penis in other sources, so.
No. So Isis has to recreate the penis with magic in order to conceive another child. So I forgot. They actually do have another kid. Yes. It was born premature and a weak second son, Harpocrates. Harpocrates. Yeah, better, but thank you. Who the Hellenistic Greeks of the Ptolemaic era worshipped as the god of silence.
Ah.
Yes,
fun.
that god of silence.
From Tyrant's Tomb.
From Tyrant's Tomb, the one who is not a god of silence for the ancient Egyptians, just something that the Hellenistic Greeks misinterpreted.
Just something that these guys picked up because he had the finger up to the mouth,
which meant like youth. He was supposed to be a variation, like a young. He was supposed to represent Osiris, Horus, and boyhood.
Yeah,
and they worshipped him as the god of silence because the finger to the mouth means silence.
Yeah,
they just didn't even think that maybe the Egyptians would have another reason for that, and didn't ever ask any of the actual local Egyptians.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out. So
in a way that ancient civilizations worked out. I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. We moved past it. 5,000 years. So, DJ, what would you say that this myth can teach us about Egypt and ancient Egyptians?
Mott's important.
Mott is important. Yes, that is true. I have that. It's actually the first thing. So all these scattered pieces across Egypt, like it really gives us insight into like core Egyptian beliefs. Like that is why this story is important. Not necessarily that
a pharaoh brings together Egypt too.
Yeah, as a descendant of Ra and the eldest son, Osiris's rule represented a rightful kingship, the natural order of society, and Mott. And his death by his brother's hand represents the struggle of order and chaos, as well as life being disrupted by death.
Yeah.
And the overall threat of that disruption. Like, Set didn't turn around and then was also like a good and just pharaoh. He also sucked, and the kingdom fell into chaos and disarray because his rule was not right.
Yeah.
Like, as we kind of talked about in the idea of Mott, it is not that like every person is equal, but it is that every person has a role to play in the larger system. And those roles should not abuse others.
Yeah.
The pharaoh is right to be revered and on top of the pyramid, so to say, but they should not be using their power unjustly. It is their job to remain order and see that their kingdom thrives by adhering to gods and the natural order and doing their job. But when they don't do their job, that's when it sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
We also get the idea of why mummification is so important. Like Osiris is the very first mummy. And the function of mummification in part of like the death and burial ritual preserves bodies against decay, right?
And it does a really good job of that.
It does a really good job of that.
My God.
Essentially, it's so the death or the dead can be resurrected into their next life. Like, this is why even after Osiris doesn't become judge and king of the underworld immediately after he is killed.
Yeah.
It only happens after he is mummified and Isis resurrects him.
Yeah.
It is that mummification that gives Osiris the second life.
He is risen.
Afterwards. You can't say that. But not all the way. But not the same way.
Jesus doesn't become king of heaven until he's resurrected, Darien.
Yeah, but he literally comes back to Earth. Osiris doesn't ever do that.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. We gotta move past this. We gotta walk away. But that's the thing. That's why mummification as the burial ritual is so important. It's because the idea that if something happens to your body, you will not, your soul, whatever part of your soul goes to
we
the
don't know if there was a prophecy myth of Osiris coming back from the dead back to Earth. We don't know that. There is one in Christianity, sure. But we don't know that there's the sands eroded all the story.
Sands eroded so many things.
Sorry.
Next thing we can pull. So like I said, after the death and resurrection, revival, Osiris becomes not just like pharaoh of the afterlife, but judge of the afterlife. He determines where souls will go. And that is kind of influenced by Horus's eventual triumph over Set, which we'll dissect a little bit more later, but specifically how that relates to Osiris and what this part of the myth tells us is that Osiris's death is unjust. We got that. We know that. Your younger brother's not supposed to kill his older brother to take over just because he was mad about something that had nothing to do with ruling, right? But things are put right when Horus claims the throne from his unjust uncle. Both pharaohs and commoners alike believe they would be resurrected in the afterlife should Osiris judge their life as having been equally just. So you're going to be judged by Osiris, who was wronged, and who only by undoing the crime and putting things back in order was made judge of he was judge before Horus finally fought Set. But that's basically the idea. Like, it is important that Osiris himself is the one who's the judge of the afterlife, because of what he went through when he was alive and how he gained that position, and how we can interpret that to mean like it is believed that unjust folks who do not adhere to Ma'at, will not be judged kindly by Osiris. Yeah. And then last thing we can learn from the Osiris myth is something that underlines by Egyptologist J. Gwynne Griffiths, who noted that the relationship between Isis, Osiris, and Horus demonstrates a strong sense of family loyalty and devotion. And we already talked about like all the ways Isis represented the ideal Egyptian wife and like queen of the pharaoh, right? Like what she did and how she was goals, her dedication and loyalty to him extended long after he died. Yeah. Right? That family loyalty and devotion is also like, if this is like our like core family of Egyptian myth, and this is belief, like we can extrapolate that to also communicate like that is what a family is supposed to look like to Egypt, like this loyalty to each other no matter what, the devotion. That is why the Osiris myth is so often remarked on as the most important Egyptian myth. Not that it's like, oh, because this story came whole cloth and it reshaped society. The story itself is what tells us things about Egyptian society. Or this story was crafted in order to influence things that were believed to be important in Egyptian society. Yeah. This next section I have labeled cool things I learned during research.
Oh, fun.
And because I wasn't sure how else to structure it, I feel like I covered a lot. Osiris is too big.
Osiris is a very big character.
Too big for, again, never going to be a comprehensive episode of this podcast. Always going to be a little charcuterie tasting board. Yeah. It's a mimosa flight for you, right?
I would say it's like a sampler.
It's a sampler.
It's a wonderful sampler of the Egypt mythology that we have this season. Last season it was Norse. The season before that it was Greek. Yep. Norse might have been a little more than a sampler because there's nothing on Norse. You know, we might have covered it all.
This was the appetizer, and you're like, "That was delicious. Can I have more?" And you're like, "Do you want the same thing again? Because it's all I have."
That's
for
it.
You.
This is in fact it.
You want some more mozzarella sticks? It's the one thing we serve here.
As a matter of fact, this is the sampler. You're getting like mozzarella sticks. You're getting like chicken wings, but the mozzarella sticks aren't coming with like marinara sauce. The chicken wings are coming sauceless as well. You're just not getting the depth that comes with what is good about these sides.
We just don't have, unfortunately, we just don't have it. We have it here. We have too much here. I couldn't give you all of the sides. You would drown in the sides.
Egypt is very big.
We would drown if we tried to serve you all of the 3,000
years. So there's going to be a little more to it than we can give here.
You're welcome to pursue the sauces and tell us about the great sauces you found. But I did want to like also just have a through line of things that I think this is like a core that I'd like it to be the takeaway. So the core of the takeaway I wanted is to explain why the Osiris myth is viewed as so important, not just like what it is, but like why and how contextually like that works and what it represents. And here are some fun facts. Osiris is a Greek name.
Wonderful.
As we talked about during our Isis episode, and as
what's his I was about to say Christian name because it's just funny. What's his given name? What's his Egyptian name?
Let me get to that. So as some folks in our Discord server recently discussed, most of the names we actually use for Egyptian gods are their Greek words.
Yeah.
Like, as you saw, like, when I...
Makes sense.
Poltarch's thing mentions Isis and Osiris, but he was calling Set Typhon. Like,
Yeah.
they were just kind of doing what they wanted. They had their own words. Now, sometimes this is because we've kind of lost their Egyptian name, like we talked about with Nephthys, maybe. And sometimes because we just don't know how their Egyptian name would have been pronounced.
Because it's just consonants.
Hieroglyphs don't communicate vowels.
Yeah.
So there's half a dozen different names that the scholars use when referring to the god that we call Osiris. And it also makes studying the etymology names really challenge.
Very difficult.
Richard H. Wilkinson dubs the translation of Osiris's name as Mighty One, the most plausible meaning of his Egyptian name. And now, DJ, you asked me a really good question. What is the Egyptian name? And you know what I didn't put in my notes?
The Egyptian name?
The Egyptian name. So let me just
You didn't put down the consonants?
Let me just go ahead and go to
It's just a string of like 6 consonants. That's all it is. It's just rhythm.
Etymology. Egyptian is, what he has chosen is Usir. So Usir. So we'll probably just have his SR.
Yeah.
Usir. Yeah. So I guess we're all just using Greek names.
It could be Asar too. Like there's
We have no idea.
Isir.
Yeah. No. We just don't know because
Just
that's
SR.
not what Egyptian
Nice.
hieroglyphics did.
Yeah.
So Abydos is one of the oldest cities of ancient Egypt. It was also the 8th dome of Upper Egypt, and it was home to the oldest known sanctuary to Osiris, where ruins of an Old Kingdom temple to the god still exist. Now, they're ruins, so they're not what they once were, but they're still there. We know it. We know there was an annual festival held at Abydos that involved the construction of something called Osiris beds, which were formed in the ground. They were formed in the shape of Osiris and then filled with soil and seeds. And the idea was that the germinating seeds actually represented Osiris rising from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And this seems like a wild thing, but we know this is a thing because we found one in Tutankhamun's tomb.
Outstanding.
Pristine.
Hell yeah.
It would also, this festival, not the Osiris beds, but the festival itself featured prayers, funeral rites, and theatrical performances of the Osiris myth.
Hell yeah. Dude,
I
bet that
love to
was
think about
awesome.
ancient theater.
That's great.
Then we also like ancient theater, the Greeks, but like
Other places
Other
do it
places
too.
were
It's fun
doing
to
this.
act. Acting is great.
I think,
It
yeah.
makes people happy.
There's no, like we say, like, oh, the
Every
Greeks
civilization has had some form of acting.
I think in our podcast trailer, there's a bit about the Greeks invented theater. And that's like a largely held, like, yeah, but like,
It's
no.
not really true. They invented probably like modern theater.
Yeah,
That's
like
our
what
modern understanding of what theater is.
Western cultures do, and like the invented the tradition of theater.
Yeah, but
like
acting's been acting.
Pretending.
Dude, once people told the truth, they then lied, and then acting was around. You know,
Yeah, right? Or like having a group of people to tell the story together, and then everyone being like, "I will tell this." Like being like
that's fun.
I'm not.
It's just a blast.
I'm sure humans have been doing that for a long time.
So long.
Kids have been playing pretend forever, and if that's not acting, I don't know what is.
Yeah, literally.
By the New Kingdom, Osiris became associated with Ra, and I have another quote for us on this because I was like, this is kind of hard to conceptualize, so I'm just going to quote Wilkinson because he did a really good job of like explaining this very concisely, and it'll just be wacky nonsense if I do it. So by the New Kingdom times, his stature as an independent god was considerable, as it is seen in titles that were applied to him, such as Lord of the Universe, Ruler of Eternity, King of the Gods. Osiris' position became, in fact, comparable to that of the sun god himself. He came to be regarded as not only a counterpart of Ra in the netherworld, but also in some cases the sun god's own body, so that Osiris and Ra came to be considered as representing the body and soul, respectively, of a single great god. The solar cycle was just imagined as the Ba of Ra descending to the underworld to unite with Osiris as its own corpse. Nevertheless, Osiris and Ra maintained independent characteristics, identities, and realms. And we'll see that a lot. It's kind of that synchronization of Osiris, Ra, Ra, Osiris.
Yeah.
But still being like, this was not one deity forever. It was like this moment in time where Ra becomes like there is a. Oh, hold on. Is it here? Where do I have that? There is a. Oh, so yeah, images that have that like synchronized Osiris Ra often have descriptions of Osiris resting in Ra and Ra resting in Osiris, communicating the deep intertwining of these deities while retaining those separate spheres.
Yeah. It's like both of them are important. Both of them are very, like they work together a lot, but
Yes.
they are very different people.
Yes. Well, like it's not just like one or the other. It is both in this moment for this time period, but also other.
They're still important.
Yeah. Last piece of the fun facts Darien learned that I was like, huh, cool. That I probably wouldn't have really clocked if I hadn't recently learned other interesting things. So I love knowledge. I love it that you can appreciate new facts if you have these other facts that just create layers.
It's great.
It's like a great cake of layers.
It's a fun web of facts that just like connect in your brain, and once another one comes up and like connects really nicely.
Yeah. So Davis, what we talked about how the Greeks connected their own deities with Egyptian deities, right? Like we have like this Hermes Anubis synchronized figure. We mentioned several episodes ago. What Greek deity do you think the ancient Greeks connected to Osiris?
Hades or Thanatos?
Interesting, because the death thing.
Yeah, of course.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's Zeus, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
I know. I thought you were going to say Zeus, but I like your answer better because it's Dionysus.
Ah.
Which seems wild, but here's the thing. I also think we should redo our Dionysus episode because I do a much better job now. But a big part of Dionysus is...
All right, let's just redo the whole first season.
The whole first season before we get into Heroes of Olympus.
First season, we're going to just retouch up, okay?
Okay, but like, we're just going to be able to talk about the Roman gods a lot, and will that just be what it is? Will it just be the Muses version of like, that's what it actually
you know what?
is?
Yeah, that's what it is actually. The whole, where it's the Roman gods, and every time we bump into a Roman god that we've already talked, because they're all so fucking similar, it's just... Oh no, this is the re-up.
Yeah,
this is the redux. Okay, this is what we're doing
again. The episode is now
again.
called Athena Muses version. Actually, I think our Athena episode's probably pretty solid. But there are
No.
others. I hate our Aries episode. That's not a good.
Because I'm not there.
You're not there. I hate that. It was so early. Whatever. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Moving on. Like we already did that with Hades when we like.
It won't be Athena Muses version. It'll be Minerva. But it'll just like be like us doing like an Athena
Aries
episode.
Muses version. Mars.
Yeah, Mars.
Okay, we'll figure it out. But it's
the Mars episode.
The Mars episode. But it's Dionysus because Dionysus actually has a heavy incorporation with resurrection, revival.
Oh.
He descends into the underworld to save his mother and brings her back and comes up with like the grapes on the vine wither and then come back every year. Like that's actually a part of Dionysus that we don't tend to explore all that often. And so they connected Osiris with Dionysus because the death and coming back, like this idea of resurrection, how he's connected to fertility and vegetation. Mark Antony had a strong connection to Dionysus, so much so that he was venerated as the new Dionysus.
Nice.
So perhaps it was inevitable that Cleopatra, who aligned herself so closely with Isis, would end up forming a bond with this Roman general, for Isis was the consort of Osiris, obviously. And so if she's looking for like, who do I need to support me? It's like, well, I've already got this bond. This guy's the new Dionysus who is associated with Osiris. That's just meant to be.
Crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, DJ, what you got any Osiris in pop culture you want to feed us? Give us a little treat.
Never has there been, nor shall there be, a king more perfect than Osiris.
Ooh, shit, starting
Son of
strong.
the earth god Geb, Osiris was divine royalty by birth, and the land his birthright. Benevolence and prosperity were the hallmarks of his reign. Would that he been left to shape the world, but the jealousy of his brother Set changed the course of fate. Seeking to usurp the throne, Set deceived and murdered his brother, tearing his body to pieces and casting them across the land. Iset, Osiris's wife, secretly fled while Set plunged the kingdom into darkness. For years, she toiled to reassemble her husband while his spirit form, his Ba, endured. Yet, for all her searching, she could not find every part of him, and Set was forced to reanimate Osiris without. Though not strong enough to defy Set in this incomplete form, Osiris gave Set a son that would topple the tyrant Set and restore balance to Egypt. But remained.
Wait. So we couldn't find all the pieces.
Yeah.
And that's apart from Plutarch. And the piece Isis couldn't find was the penis.
Yeah.
But she still gave her a son who'd be able to do it. What are the pieces, Smite? What are the pieces, Smite?
What remains of Osiris is a fragment of what he once was. Robbed of his crown over the earth, he now governs the realm of the dead with the same benevolence he ruled the living. But darkness looms once again, and though broken, Osiris refuses to sit idly by. Mustering the last of his strength and spirit, Osiris seeks to change the course of fate, this time for the light over the darkness.
I like that.
Very good.
Yeah, order over chaos.
Yeah, you want to check out some of his skins?
I love seeing the Smite skins. It's always fun.
He's got a really fun one, and I think you'll see it.
Is it Chop Chop?
No.
Oh, that seems crazy for him.
Chop Chop's really fun, though. My favorite one. Frankenhotep, dude. I love Frankenhotep. It's so funny. It's Frankenstein. It
is Frankenstein's monster. That's crazy.
What is it? Yeah, he's in Smite 1, he's a warrior.
With Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, because he dual wields blades and he swings the crook and flail.
Ah, that makes sense.
His passive is once he uses seven abilities, of his like 1 through 3, he can start phasing through like player-made walls and shit like that because he just goes into his whole spirit form. And while every time he uses an ability, a part of his body becomes like the spirit form, which is really cool. When you use his ult, he just gets the whole spirit form really quick.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And he's the Black Knight, looking real Monty Python, the Black Knight.
Oh yeah.
Chop Chop is crazy.
Chop Chop's a lot of fun.
It's just a chef. But
it's just a chef with a pan and I think like a butcher knife. Frankenhotep.
I like that. That's really good.
It's a lot of fun. They did some good stuff with him.
I like that. I've actually got quite a few little Osiris tidbits to share.
Nice.
That I was pretty jazzed about. First one I want to talk about is the television series Stargate SG-1. I'm talking a lot about Stargate because I got really into it during pandemic and then didn't finish it. So it's like the memories of Stargate are like fragments in my head. Yeah. Like, so in the Stargate universe, the Egyptian gods are actually this alien species that comes down and like possesses humans to be like, they have these powers. They pretend to be gods so they can conquer humans and stuff. And so and Osiris is one of these gods. But he's unique among the villains is that while he has the male personality, it's a female host body. And I don't know what the show did with that as a plot, but I bet it was crazy.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. In the Firefly TV series, it's just the name, but I liked it because Firefly.
Yeah.
Osiris is actually the name of the core planet that River and Simon Tam are from.
Nice.
Because there's like a Persephone. Like the planets that exist in Firefly are still named after mythological deities and stuff. I think that's pretty great. DJ,
what's up?
Do you know what the card in Yu-Gi-Oh is for Osiris?
Is it the creator?
Saint Dragon, the god Osiris. It's one of the 3 divine beasts. And it felt wrong not to mention Yu-Gi-Oh. And I've got one more thing for you, and I was real excited when I realized the Silence God. We got to talk about him briefly because I greatly look forward to us getting to explore Trials of Apollo one day. It's going to be good. But I have one last one. And it is in Mozart's final opera, which is called The Magic Flute. It features a scene where priests in the Temple of Wisdom worship Iris and Osiris. This opera also features the Queen of the Night aria, which is one of Mozart's most famous individual pieces. And why I wanted to mention that is because you might be familiar with this rendition of it.
Now, I'm not familiar with all the new modern tech in it, but I know of the song.
You do know the song. It's a very well-known song. This variation that I just played for you...
Is the sound on reels and stuff?
I mean, maybe. But the reason you and I know it is because it's from Season 6, Episode 7 of Adventure Time Food Chain.
Oh, dude, I have memory hold that one. That's in the vault.
That's in the vault.
That was a weird fucking episode.
No, it's a weird episode.
No, I don't remember ever hearing that song. I was too tripped out by the visuals to even pay attention to the sounds, okay?
Yeah. But listen, DJ, I was pretty excited because I'm like, okay, this is pretty great. But is there any of these songs that are pretty stand out? I don't know why my brain was like, no, I want to dig into this Mozart one real quick. But what song?
People use Mozart a lot.
Yeah, Queen of the Night aria. And I'm like, okay, but where's it been played? I'm like, I've heard this. Is it like a Looney Tunes thing? I'm sure I've heard a lot. So I was pretty jazzed when I found it was used in Adventure Time. And I was like,
I do have another
crazy.
Osiris one.
You have another Osiris one?
I know.
Please.
So I've probably talked about it before. It's this manhwa called Tomb Raider King.
Yes.
One of the artifacts he found was Osiris's hourglass.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know why it's an hourglass.
Yeah.
Because we didn't talk about an hourglass at all here.
No. Sands of Egypt?
I think it's sands of time sort of thing. Or just
yeah,
sand in general.
Yeah.
He can like take form. And so we see him a couple times. And yeah, he's got the green skin, the beard, and the crown.
Yeah, but the guy.
He's typically seen in a dog form.
Interesting.
He hangs out with Set and Anubis a lot because our main character just straight up just dominated all these artifacts. Like, all right, you guys are gonna play nice, and now they're all like okay, I will do it.
Oh,
he feeds us fried chicken.
They have to hang out because it's not like they're choosing.
No,
to hang out.
They would choose to hang out, but that's because they're just like, yeah, we're better than humans, period. And like, so we're just like whatever. But what is it? He has to hang out in like dog form most of the time. He's got to be like a guard dog. At one point, I think the Norse gods got onto. They were fighting, and then they're like, Osiris, Set, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, doing what he tells us. Like, why the fuck are you doing that? You guys have so much power. You can conquer. I was like, yeah, but like, he's cool. He feeds us fried chicken sometimes. Like, it's whatever, dude. I like my life is way more chill now than it was before. This is fucking sick.
It's just nice here.
Yeah.
I'm just real quick looking over the iconography section of Wilkinson's the text I have, just to be like, wait, what animal is like Set's? Or not Set, Osiris is. Yeah, he doesn't have one.
No,
as far as we found,
it's probably because he's paired with like Anubis and Set, who are like, yeah, Set animal, but it looks kind of like could be a dog jackal thing. I'm so
excited to talk about Set animal.
Anubis is like, yeah, he's a jackal, so it's like, yeah, I'll just throw like a wolf style dog.
Which I'm not mad at. That makes total sense.
No,
but
it's
for
great.
a second I was like, wait, I don't think.
Yeah, so you got like this red dog. I think that Set's red.
Yeah, Set would be the red dog.
Red is or Set's white. Then you got like a blue dog. Then you have the green dog for Osiris.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's wild. Yeah, of all like, because the Egyptian gods have a lot of like they're associated with this animal. You'll see him with this. Not Osiris though.
No, Osiris doesn't do animal stuff.
No, he just looks like this. He's mummified. His body stays the same. Yeah. Maybe it's because he's mummified. He can't shift.
Maybe, but yeah, he in that one, it's fun.
Nice.
He has the ability to. His ability is to like trap people in the Egyptian underworld, which is just a big fucking desert that's within Osiris's stomach, and it causes issues later because they trap someone that's a little too strong. And he's like, dude, I'm getting some indigestion. What the fuck you put in me? This is not good. You need to go in there and figure it out.
Yep. That's so interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Tomb Raider King is good. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. That's what I got. That's Osiris. There's tons more. There's so much more about Osiris. We're just not going to get in today.
I've also encountered,
but we're gonna call it. Unless you've got another one that you really like.
I'm just gonna, because I'm sure there's one that I've seen that I also really like because it's like on the tip of my tongue. Oh, that's right. Osiris was a a warlock in Destiny. The game.
In the game Destiny, Osiris is a warlock?
Yeah. So he's
Wait, you've played Destiny?
Destiny 2, yeah. Osiris, what the fuck? His ghost's name was also some Egyptian. Oh, Sagira.
Sagira, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, Osiris in Destiny, he was like a warlock. He didn't like theme himself around Egypt stuff. He just has that's his name. That's his guardian name.
Yeah. That would be fine, right? Sometimes they just like Osiris sounds cool. Let's use it as a name. It's like Osiris the planet in Firefly doesn't have anything to do with Osiris and Egyptian stuff. It's just like we want to name the planets after like the naming convention that we have already established as humans. Yeah. Like obviously we would continue that into our distant future, I would hope. Actually, very likely it's going to be start naming after like leaders and billionaires. In the darkest timeline, that's what we end up with if we survive it all. But I hope we will continue naming it after mythology because I like that a lot.
It's so much more fun.
It's so much more fun. I once did.
Hell yeah, I'd still prefer the naming scheme that we have now, for like our distant stars that aren't Alpha Centauri. What the fuck?
Great names. Love the names. All right, that's Osiris. If we missed anything that you're like, hey, this is a super cool Osiris thing I like, do not hesitate to drop it. We would love to talk more about it in the future. Or if you are in the Discord, you can hang out with us. You just chime in there if you want to join the Discord. DJ, how do they do that?
Patreon.com/Muses of Mythology. We got so much wonderful content. We got more bonus episodes than we do main feed episodes.
This is true.
We have remyth episodes for the $10 and up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's we love it so much. We love doing the stuff over here. We love doing the stuff
doing
here.
it.
We just like doing this. It's a lot of fun. And if you love it, you should also check us out over there.
Yeah, it's the support. All the extras you get on the Patreon is just a thank you for folks who are able to support the podcast financially. It does super help a lot. Like there are a lot of resources we use that do require a financial component that if we didn't have that support, we wouldn't have gotten this far and continue to be able to
the
do.
Patreon is like truly funding the podcast, like wholly.
And then it also allows us to like this book I'm using for this. I can actually buy these now. I have a copy of the Odyssey. Like it allows me to go buy things to do better and more comprehensive research than I would be able to do otherwise, to have reliable translations.
Darren told me to buy an audiobook with the Patreon funds, but I have 9 credits on Audible, so...
Well, I was like, oh, hey, we're going to do, for the Remyth episode, we're doing City of the Plague God, one of the Riordan Presents books that I like a whole lot and I'm excited to talk about.
The September Remyth?
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, oh, DJ, like, don't spend your money on that. Like, I know you're going to do the audiobook. Like, we have this. And he's like, I got lots of credits. It's fine.
I had 9 credits at the time. I can get a whole series of things.
Yeah, it's to allow us to comfortably be able to pursue additional avenues to make the podcast more than it would have been without your support.
Yes.
So those extras, we have the Discord server, things like that. Like that is all thank yous for folks who are in a position where they can financially support the show. But not everybody is. Hey, money is tight. Tariffs are tough. I just had to start paying back my student loan. So big thank you for everyone who's supporting the show, because your girl's got to start throwing money at the government. But if you're not able to do it, we still want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts because you're listening to us. Mm-hmm. Like your time is valuable. And thank you so much for listening to the show. You still interact with us on Instagram about episodes. If you're following us or if you found us from our reels on YouTube, that's crazy. Thank you so much. I hope you like those. If you want to watch more of those, I post reels as a lip syncs on YouTube. I just introduced Ares as a character. Didn't think I'd ever do that, but I had a pretty cool take on Ares I was excited about. So he's there now as part of the character lineup. And that's cool. So your time it's deeply valued by us as well.
We do appreciate you guys listening to this episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah, listen, like leaving a review, telling other people about us, like letting us be worth your while.
It's great. We love it.
Especially we've done this for almost 5 years.
It's wonderful. We love you guys so much.
Yeah. And if you happen to be in the Treasure Valley area, if you're listening to this episode on the day it comes out, this coming weekend, we're going to be at Boise Comic Arts Festival.
That we are.
It's a free convention in Boise
area.
area.
Quiz quiz game.
We're
quiz
playing
show.
a fun quiz game. There's going to be prizes. It's going to be silly. We're going to have a good time. Our buddy Leo's going to be there. So if you want to join us, you are able to be in the area. That's so cool. And if not, that's okay. I'll post about it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
We'll be back in your ears on Tuesday, September the 9th to talk about Sets.
Because
that feels right.
Okay.
And until next time, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
Muses of Mythology is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smartt. It's edited by Darien Smartt. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smartt, as well as
Tim O'Connor, The Crystal Conman, Nicholas Miller, Jeffrey Babbitt. Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain.
And our cover art is by Ryan Kapoka. You can find them on Instagram or through the link in our show notes. Want more Muses of Mythology? Support the show on Patreon. Join the Patreon for free for access to outtakes and bloopers from our main feed episodes. Or for $5 a month, you can enjoy our Bunker 9 bonus episodes every other week. Get more at patreon.com/Muses of Mythology.
You can also support the show by leaving a review at lovethepodcast.com/Muses of Mythology. Or tell a friend why you love the show.
Don't forget to check out all of our episodes and episode transcripts at musesofmythology.com.
Thanks for listening.